This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.
Greetings, blessings, and good fortune, everyone. We are back. We are back in a big way. I am off of my vacation in sunny Florida and back to life in sunny Texas. Yes, in fact, just driving here to the studio, KCYP 97.7 FM, which is on the air, ladies and gentlemen. We are an over-the-air show. We are also on YouTube. We are on TuneIn Radio, which is an app. We are on Facebook. You might be watching us or listening to us in any one of those ways, but I appreciate you doing that. And on my way here today, I saw something that is perhaps uniquely Texas, not sure, 102 degrees out. I'm driving to the studio, and I see a guy with his weed whacker and a cigarette hanging out of his face. Amazing. It was just, that's Texas, I guess. Whatever. He was doing a good job, I'm sure. I didn't inspect him by any means, but I'm pretty sure he was doing a good job. So, what do we have in store for you today? We got a lot of stuff. We got things to talk about. We got things to report. And hopefully, we're going to be taking your comments right here in the Facebook app. Okay? So as the people come in, Oscar, great to see you. As everybody comes in, if you want something to be touched on, talked about, whatever, let me know. And I'll bring it up. And you comment accordingly, however you would like to do it. And we'll go with it that way. So, as per usual, at the beginning of the show, I like to do a little update, on things that affect us all. Basically, economic things, okay? So, gold today is hitting around $1,954 an ounce. Silver, $24.38 an ounce. And my favorite, Bitcoin, $29,140 for one of them. But remember, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin, ladies and gents. Be great if you could. But you buy 20 here, 50 there, whatever. Jeff, glad to see you, Jeff. He's on. He's up. He's doing it. All right. So here's what I want to start out with. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, but it's always a good idea when we do. Got a little verse here for us. So this is from Acts 17, verse 4. Some of the Jews were persuaded by the preaching of the gospel and joined Paul and Silas, as did a large number of God-fearing Greeks and quite a few prominent women. So when I read this, it says, you know what? Prominent women has nothing to do with women's lib. Women's lib was a construct of the usual suspects to get them into the workplace too and tax more of our income, okay? Women have played prominent roles since the beginning of time. Let's appreciate them. Moms, wives, daughters, sisters. Let's appreciate them. Here's to you, ladies. Now, a little bit of Bitcoin news. We have Congressman Davidson. Good sir. Now, Congressman Davidson tweeted out, no CBDC. Okay? If you're new to the show, you may not know what a CBDC is. A CBDC is a central bank digital currency, the opposite of Bitcoin, which is not centralized at all and is free. Not free monetarily, but free in a libertarian sense. CBDCs are anything but, because they will enslave us if we allow it. And they're coming down the pike. Just last week, they opened up what's called the FedNow app. The federal government did. Better yet, the owner of the federal government, which is the Federal Reserve, it's private, they opened up FedNow. It's an app you put on your phone. And why would they do that now? Well, because they got something planned for us. They got something mean and nasty. Kind of like COVID, but on steroids. So, what is it? What are they going to do? They're going to crash our economy, and they're going to force us into a solution that they've had for years. This is how they operate. This is why you watch the show, ladies and gents, because you want to know how these people operate, and I've been studying this stuff for a while. So, what it is they have planned for us could be a lot of things. They got a war planned. They might have another pandemic planned. They might have any number of things that they're going to do to us. Okay? How do I know this? Well, they're very religious folks, these these cultists, as I call them, not the religion you and I profess, of course. They work for the other guy, okay? They gave their lives to Satan a long time ago. Whoa! Otter, what are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. These people hate God and hate us because we are God's children. We're God's creatures. So they want to destroy us, especially the babies and especially the kids. If you don't believe me, watch a Hollywood movie. You'll see. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is that Congressman Davidson said, no CBDC. Money should not be programmable by a central authority. Wow, that's almost revolutionary because in 1913, when the Federal Reserve was instituted, foisted upon us, I might say, that became a central authority, unseating the constitutional rule that the Treasury must be the only place that issues the currency in the United States of America. So this unconstitutional agency called the Federal Reserve, very deceptive, isn't it? Not federal at all. But this agency became the central authority for the US dollar, an instrument of debt. Yes, because it's all about debt. Why? Because they can enslave us. What does the Bible say? Right? It says that the debtor is slave to the lender. So as we throw out these dollars, which are increasingly seldomly found, the cash version, because it's digital, because they can just press buttons. So as we spend these things and we look at it, we're basically creating more debt. How do I mean? Well, the Federal Reserve lends the U.S. government money every year. Your tax dollars do very little, if anything, to build a bridge, pay a guy in the army, pay a federal employee. No. It tries and fails horrendously to pay down the debt of America, which is at $30-some trillion now. Unfathomable, really, where it's at right now. But the money that goes to the building of bridges and so forth comes from a loan because it's all debt, ladies and gents. Anyway, this guy's got it. This Congressman Davidson, he's got it. Money should not be programmable by a central authority. Okay? He also says, sound money facilitates permissionless peer-to-peer transactions. Permissionless. Why is that? What's so important about it? Well, the federal government has to get the permission of the Federal Reserve. See, we've been convinced that it's the other way around, but it's not, ladies and gents. There is no richest man in the world that is not owner or co-owner of the Federal Reserve. Elon Musk, laughable. Guy's got nothing. A pittance compared to the owners of the Federal Reserve. Why? Why do I say that? Because you can't count their wealth. As soon as you try to count it, they put more buttons and they got more. How do you defeat that? How do you win? You don't. It's a losing system and it's going down. As they bring it down, they're going to try and push you into central bank digital currencies. Don't allow it. How are you going to avoid it? That's a great subject and I'm glad you're here. Land, gold, silver, Bitcoin. This is me. I am not a financial advisor. And I certainly didn't go to college. In fact, one of my favorite sayings is, my shadow never darkened the doorway of any institution of higher learning. And based on what I've found of the products of institutions of higher learning, I'm proud of that. Now, this is from the Bitcoinist. Kennedy walks the talk with Bitcoin investment. Check this out. I like this guy. Okay, now, as you may or may not know, if you've followed the show, I am not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. Okay, I think that is a foolish endeavor. Why? Because they're all on the same team. And it's not yours, and it ain't mine. They are two wings of one bird, the same bird, and they're flipping it at us every single day. So, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., okay, he is, of course, on the Democrat side. Not democratic by any means, because Democrats are not democratic. They're other things. So he is on the Democrat side, and he will never be their nominee. Just so you know, he will get Bernied. If you all know about Bernie Sanders, and I'm sure you do, Bernie Sanders got Bernied. Yes, he did. It's a verb now because they shafted him. They did. The communists shafted Bernie because he's not part of their club, at least not yet. So Kennedy has no chance because the fraud machine will, it'll roll over him like a steamroller. Anyway, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has recently divulged his venture into the world of crypto, confirming his acquisition of a substantial amount of Bitcoin earlier this year. Wow. What did Mr. Kennedy do? Well, surprising many, Kennedy revealed that he purchased 2 Bitcoin for each of his 7 beloved children. Wow. 2 Bitcoin. Ladies and gents, I have a show on Bitcoin, and I don't have a whole Bitcoin. I don't even have close. I don't even think I have a 1/10 of a Bitcoin. I don't. I'm not proud of that, but I don't. I don't have it. But this guy, apparently, he was at the Bitcoin conference that they have in Miami every year. And we need to go to that, Joe. One of these days, we're taking the show on the road, and we're going to go to the Bitcoin conference. Yes. Okay? Yes. Let us do this. This will be a mission. Lord above will determine whether we do it or not. But I would love to broadcast from Miami at the Bitcoin conference. Lord, may it happen. Your will be done. So he was there, and he says they gave him a fat check. Whatever. But out of that fat check, he decided to walk the walk and talk the talk. So he bought 14 Bitcoin for his 7 children, 2 each. See, I can do math, hopefully. Not math enough to advise you financially. No, that's on you. You have to do what's best for you and your family. And like I say, I'm not a financial advisor, but land looks good. Gold looks good. Silver looks good. And of course, Bitcoin looks really good. So, this here is from CNBC. Now, yeah, they're part of the mainstream, part of the problem. I know. But listen to this one. Bitcoin falls sharply ahead of Fed meeting, and as investors weigh Binance concerns. Binance is it's an exchange for Bitcoin and other cryptos. And there's concerns because, the government wants to mess with it also. So that was from CNBC. Right? They're shouting at the rooftops that Bitcoin falls. It wasn't that sharp. It really wasn't. They want you to think that, though. Now, here's from Fundstrat. Okay, they do charts. They do, all that kind of, measurement stuff. So Bitcoin, this is from Fundstat. Bitcoin could soar to $180,000 before April 2024, having as potential, I'll explain that in a second. As potential BlackRock ETF helps drive demand. Now, BlackRock is an evil company, I believe. Don't worry about them. But April 2024 is the halving. What is the halving? Well, when you are mining Bitcoin, if you are lucky enough for one of your machines to tie off a block in the blockchain, you will be awarded Bitcoin. At the current rate, I think it's 6.25, I believe, Bitcoin every time one of your machines ties off one of those blocks and neatly stores it away on the blockchain. So that's why people mine. One of the reasons why they mine Bitcoin. Also, transactions will throw a little bit of Bitcoin in your fund, in your wallet, right? So every 4 years, Bitcoin halves that award. So it'll go from 6.25 to 125, something like that, whatever the math is, right? But this is an event that since 2009, when Bitcoin was invented, or was unveiled, I should say, it rises in price, Bitcoin does, in such a way that it's almost predictable. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is coming in April of 2024. We're past April of 2023. So that means we're less than a year out from this event. Check your charts, maybe. Check your wallet, maybe make a move. It's up to you. I'm not a financial advisor. I would never be that guy. Anyway, this is from Red State. We're off the Bitcoin and the crypto stuff, okay? And we're hopefully not smoking what Hunter Biden does. But conditions of Hunter Biden's pre-trial release have been announced, and ooh boy, ladies and gents, the conditions are stringent for a guy like Hunter, and one of them is he can't do cocaine. he's screwed. Ladies and gents, he can't do cocaine. Why would they foist these regulations on a guy like that? Okay, he can't even drink. Can't do alcohol. He hasn't had to give up his passport, so he could probably flee to some other country. But they might even put some sort of patch on him to check his sweat. He's also he's a potential candidate for alcohol testing and things like that. So yeah, I don't think he liked what happened a couple days ago when basically the judge, an honest judge, they exist. Joe, they're out there. Isn't that great? So there was an honest judge that said, wait a minute. You guys are trying to snow the court. You guys are trying to screw the country. Of course they are. They do it daily. The Republicans, the Democrats, the Bush, the Clinton, Obama, and Biden crime families. They screw you and me every single day. But you know what? There's an honest judge. And justice prevailed at least up until now. And she said, wait a minute, we're not going to give you this sweet deal. Basically, it said that he could commit any crime he wanted in any future event and would not be in any way beholden to the consequences. Yes, that's what they actually tried to do, man. I'm serious. I'm not kidding you. Read the... This is from Red State. Okay, check it out. Conditions of Hunter's pretrial release. Check it out yourself. It's great. Now, this is from the Duran. Now, you can either pronounce it Duran or Duran, whatever you want to do. But the Ukraine grain revenue is gone. What does this mean? Now, if you watched the show before, I do give tips to interesting and informative shows other than this one. And the Duran is one of those. They are very well researched. One of them speaks in an English accent. Need I say more? So, Ukraine grain revenue is gone. Why is it gone? Well, they don't want to sell it to Russia anymore. Not that Ukraine doesn't want to, but the usual suspects, the evil globalists, don't want Ukraine grain going to Russia or any of the allies there that are responding to the unchecked aggression which got checked in Ukraine. This is from Reuters. Body of Obama's personal chef recovered from Martha's Vineyard Lake. Ooh, man. So much for the beef stroganoff, Joe. I wonder what he did. Well, I don't actually have to wonder. Monica, good to see you. Glad to see you're up on the chat. Let me know if you guys want to talk about something. I'm here to look, and I'm here to talk. So, the body of this personal chef apparently was found in the water where they do paddleboarding or whatever. He was paddleboarding, and apparently he didn't have that thing on the leash or the ring or whatever that ties you to the board, so you don't lose the board and you can stay afloat. But I don't think whoever was responsible really wanted him to float. Just a thought. So, yeah, they found the body. So, who knows what happened here, but there are reports that he was thinking of writing a book. Now, he's seen a lot of things in his years with the Obamas, both Mr. and Mr. Obama. Maybe he saw the other Mr. Obama and saw what made him a Mr. I don't know. But he saw something, and he was going to say something, and you don't do that with those people. They're as bad as the Bushes. Yes, they are. They're as bad as the Clintons, and they are as bad as the Bidens. Oh, Jeff says, what a coincidence. I'll tell you, with people like that, we don't see too many coincidences. We're about 20 minutes after the hour, and if I've learned anything from Joe, our producer and station owner, and by the way, we're here, again, of course, at the McKellen Creative Incubator. There's paintings all over the place. There's musicians. There's, all kinds of different artsy-fartsy stuff going around, including this show, which I would like to think is artsy-fartsy. Anyway, what I would like to tell you is this. If you get a chance to stop by the McKellen Creative Incubator, it's here where the old McKellen Library was, okay? So, anytime you can stop by, it's just a cool place to see. But KCYP 97.7 FM, okay, is a radio station It's a nonprofit organization, okay? Joe teaches kids how to do radio. Joe does video also, so he teaches kids how to do video. He teaches because that's what he does. It's natural to him. And the grant money for these endeavors has pretty much dried up. So what we would like to do and what we are doing is endeavoring, Joe, can you stoke that up? We're endeavoring to persevere. And how are we proposing that? Well, we are on a sponsorship campaign. Do you have a business? Do you have something that you would like to promote? Well, I've got a brochure for you, and it's got a great deal, okay? My sister Sue, who runs a website business, hey Sue, great one, by the way, and you can find it on my website, bitcoinotter.com. So basically what this is an opportunity for you to get the word out, okay? Let me tell you a little bit about the Facebook friends, just for a one. We go out on Facebook, we go out on YouTube, we go out on the air, 97.7 FM, here in the Rio Grande Valley, McAllen, Texas. KCYP, the city. Okay, so we also go out on Facebook, we go out on YouTube, and when we get kicked out for those, because we probably will at some point, we're going to go to Rumble. But that, again, is another expense. However, this is our deal, right? So you got the Bitcoin Otter broadcast. Your product will be not only voiced and promoted by me in whatever verbiage you would like to hear it promoted, but Joe, as the owner of the radio station, will make sure that you have 24/7 reach. So Joe will have a spot either on my voice or whatever voice you choose. He will have a spot for your product, service, or company. 24/7 on the hour. Is it on the hour? Half hour? How does that go, Joe? On the hour, your business will go out on the air. Also, here on this show, I will introduce your business to all my Facebook friends, which are numbering like 625, okay? And if you know me, and most of you do, you know that these 625 individuals have gainful employment. Many of these 625 individuals are in six figures. Would you like your business, service, or interest in front of these eyes? I think you do. If so, give us a shout. I will have this brochure sent to you, and it has an introductory offer. Joe, can you flip the page? Can you give the second page to our viewers here? Look at that. Bargain basement prices, $180. This is an introductory offer, and we can, after the 3 months is over, we can talk about where we go from here. But for $180, okay, you get in-show endorsements. That's me, the Otter. 24/7 KCYP, the city, FM 97.7 out of McAllen, coverage of your business, and affiliate links, which I will put on the Bitcoin Otter website. We'll work on Joe's. We can get affiliate links there, okay? We are prepared to get your business in front of many eyes as we can get. And I'm making new friends here on Facebook, and I'm getting new members to my YouTube channel, Bitcoin Otter, on YouTube. And like I said, we're going to go on Rumble at some point or another. It's going to happen. But a lot of it does depend on funding, right? Somebody's got to pay for it. Did they give you electricity for free here, Joe?
Here, yes.
They do.
Well, it pays part of the rent, yes.
It's part of the rent. Yeah, so the rent has to be paid. Things do have to be paid. So if you would promote your business, please think about us. $180, 3 months. Again, on the radio, on YouTube and Facebook, and on the website. Please give us a shout, okay? Joe, what's the number to you?
956 789 0702.
0702. Okay, you can rewind that because we'll be recording this. We are recording it now. Another thing is bitcoinotter.com. Okay, we'll have my info. You can email me also at bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. bitcoinotter.media at gmail.com. We'll work something out. Introductory offer, $180, 3 months, ladies and gents, 24/7 promotion of your business. Let me have it. Okay, back from the break. Here's what's going on in your neighborhood and is coming to you. This is from Zero Hedge, great site for news and all that kind of stuff. I see a wave coming. Assessed value of Baltimore City office tower nearly halved amid CRE panic. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gents. I'm not sure what CRE is. If anybody wants to let me know through the comments, please do so. However, in the story, the Inner Harbor District in Baltimore City. Now, many cities have these districts that they renovate, okay? It's usually a small part of the city. And while the other parts of it are burning down, they have this place that they pour money into. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But especially a place like Baltimore, which burns down probably daily, because we know who runs Baltimore. And they're not nice people. And they promote communism because, well, commie's going to commie, you know? Anyway, we reported last week that 2 office towers were sold at massive discounts. Now a third tower at 100 East Pratt Street, I don't recommend moving there, by the way, was reassessed at a 45% discount compared with what it was originally assessed at, inciting fears of a domino effect that will ripple across the area, according to Baltimore Business Journal. If you think this is limited to Baltimore, you might be hanging out with Hunter Biden because you might be smoking that nasty stuff. This is not limited to Baltimore. This is happening across the nation and you could argue worldwide. Why? Because of those evil bastards. Those people, the usual suspects, the bankers, the central bankers are doing it. A couple days ago, raised the interest rates. Why? Because they want to put you out of a job. Well, what do you mean, Otter? Well, to central bankers, when jobs go in scarcity, the inflation rate goes down. Kiowa Tactical, great to see you. Great to see you. If anybody wants to check out Kiowa Tactical, they're a local, basically a tactical kind of training kind of place. Videos, all that good stuff, right? Sonia is the owner. Check her out. Good friend. So, Sonia, check out earlier, before you got on, we have a promo campaign going on. So, not that expensive either. So, don't worry about it. But anyway, we'll talk. So, Javi. Glad to see you, Javi. Javi is back in the RGV, ladies and gents. Javi's back. Hopefully, we'll see you at the Chimenea. Anyway, so, this is what's going on. Remember this Baltimore thing where 50%, almost 45%, right, of this property was assessed at a lower amount. Well, because it's Baltimore, but also because it is the banks, ladies and gents. It is the banks, and they're doing it to you and me. Remember this, please. The next time you get that letter from the criminals who run the assessment office, I'm sorry, I said criminals. Now, here's a fact. I will talk about bankers. I will talk about politicians. I will talk about FBI. I'll talk about all these things and all these agencies. But here's the fact, ladies and gents. There are honest, good people working at all of these places. I understand that. And very clearly, hopefully, the majority of them are honest. But in certain organizations, they don't rise to the top because, well, you got to play ball, right? You got to pay to play because they got to have something on you and you got to do something nasty so that they can hold that over your head. So they're evil people, right? So this just happens. Now, one of the most, I'll say it again, evil taxes we have is property tax. Why do I say that? Because you'll never own a piece of property or a home here in the United States of America. You'll never own it. You might think you do. Hey, Rudy, how's it going, brother? Glad to see you. So, you're not going to own your land or your house because they will tax you on it. If you don't pay your taxes, they'll take it from you. They'll steal it. Taxation is me. I'm not trying to gather you into my jackpot here, but taxation is theft, ladies and gentlemen. There are customs, there are duties that go into the treasury, and this is how, prior to the income tax, this is what ran the government, and it wasn't fat and bloated the way it is now. Anyway, so remember this, that your tax dollars are actually paying for a guy or a gal at city offices to go on Google Maps and to look in your backyard. Joe, did you build a shed this year? We're going to tax you on that, Buster. We're going to tax... Oh, a pergola. I have a pergola in my backyard. I was dumb enough to make a pergola, thinking that here in the hot Texas sun it worked. It doesn't work. If you're here in McAllen, it doesn't work. I'll tell you. Don't make a pergola. Don't do that. Anyway, the sun just beats down on me. If it rains, I get wet. And I told this to the assessor, and he said, "Yeah, we're still taxing you on it." Holy, yeah. So they actually pay people to get on Google Maps, look at your yard, and say, "Hey, this guy, gal built something. We're going to tax them," and they do. They don't just threaten. They do. They raise the so-called value of your home so that they can take more in taxes from you. To me, that's criminality in essence. Anyway, shoplifter strolls past CNN reporter as she profiles rampant San Fran crime. So, I don't know, and let me read this real quick, but San Francisco's crime situation is so bad that even CNN, that's saying a lot, even CNN decided to shine a spotlight on it. And while they were shooting from the nation's most robbed Walgreens, and make no mistake, there's a reason why it's in San Francisco, a shoplifter casually walked by the reporter and camera with stolen merchandise. Why? Well, because it's part of their operation, ladies and gents. I think it's $950 or I don't know what the exact amount is, but it's somewhere around the $850, $950 area, where if you steal from the most robbed national Walgreens, you steal anything less than like $950 or $850, they can't stop you. And they won't prosecute. They won't prosecute. Why? Because many of these district attorneys who are in charge of prosecution of crimes in the cities are put there by George Soros. Wow, you don't say. I say. George Soros gives funding for their races, their political campaigns, okay? So they go for the office of district attorney, and then they got to pay back. You pay to play, ladies and gents. They pay back the organization that put them there in the first place. And how do they do that? They create chaos. Because people like George Soros and his ilk, the usual suspects, the slime of our world, the parasite class, they want chaos in our streets. And you're going to see it this summer. But we won't be part of that because we're patriots. Anyway, Mitt Romney argues that it shouldn't be illegal for government to use big tech for censorship. Gee, you suppose Mitt might be one of those usual suspects I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay. During a Senate hearing Wednesday, Mitt Romney argued against an amendment proposed by Rand Paul, patriot, to make it illegal for government to use social media and big tech companies to censor the views of Americans. Now, I want to make an observation here as a fully heterosexual and definitely not unproud of that, very proud to be heterosexual, and my lovely wife is also proud of that. Now, I notice that patriotic and especially conservative-minded individuals attract and perhaps even exude beauty. Relative. Again, I'm heterosexual, so this is just me. You do you. I will not judge you for sleeping with whoever you want to sleep with on your own time, at your own place, whatever, as long as it's consensual, of course. But I notice these things. And I noticed that when they had a photo of this Mitt Romney scum, he's got some tool in the background of his advisors. But you look at Rand Paul, and here it is, I think, Zero Hedge. He has a gorgeous babe, Joe. I mean, in the back when they have their aides and the people that helped them, this woman is like Claudia Schiffer. My age is showing, 80s bombshell. I mean, this woman was just gorgeous. And if I go in any further and my wife sees it, she'll be embarrassed, so I won't. But I'm telling you right now, there is an inner beauty to all of us. Let's foster it. Let's bring it out, because that's what God wants for us. Okay? God wants us not only to follow the things that he tells us, but he doesn't force us. Certainly not like government. He doesn't force us. We have free will. We have a choice. And that's why I'm a libertarian, if you want to call it that. I believe you have the choice to do whatever you want in your life. Now, if that involves hurting children, we got a beef, and there's a bone to be chewed on, and I will definitely fight that. This brings something to mind. I shared with a bunch of friends, and I'll probably do it again on Facebook, a great movie I saw last night. It is an outside Hollywood movie, ladies and gents. Okay? And it's basically a guy who got together with other guys and gals who made a movie outside of Hollywood. Yes. I want to say, and gee, it's kind of embarrassing. I can't remember the exact title, but it's not Catalina. It's
Corsicana.
Corsicana. Thank you, Joe. See, this is why you want to get with this guy. Joe's got it, man. He's on it. Corsicana. Or, for my non-gringo friends, Corsicana. Okay? It is a good movie. It's brutal, ladies and gents. It's based on a true story here in Texas, the great state of.
There you go.
Okay? I am a patriot of both the United States of America and Texas, because we are a free republic. Now, this movie, you can rent it now on Amazon. It's also on Hulu and all kinds of other places. But it's not Hollywood, ladies and gents. Yeah, you pay to rent it, but it's a pittance. I think it was like $2.50 or whatever. Doesn't matter. You can buy it also. I encourage that. Great movie. Check this out. No nudity, no gore, but it was brutal. I mean, it was a brutal movie. But here's the difference I noticed. In Hollywood, you see the evil that men do. And they love to bathe us in blood. They love to show us the gore, the innards of a human being, turn them on. This movie is not about the evil that men do. It's about how good men fight evil men. It doesn't hide the fact that they're there, but it shows you that we can fight them and we can win, because this war is about good and evil. It's about you and me coming against the evil that runs the systems of the world. And we're winning, ladies and gents. We're winning because God is on our side. Yes, we do have to pick sides. And the cultists, the parasite class, like Mr. Romney, George Soros, the crime families, Bush, Biden, Obama, Clinton, they chose their side and they serve a different master altogether. His name's Satan. The Bible tells you all about him. Not nice. But by the same token, he has no power against God. And the people who follow God, those who have ascribed to the name of Jesus Christ, well, they win in the end. Yeah, we're all dealt defeat now and again because we're human. And let's face it, deep down, like the Bible says, the heart is deceitful above all things. So none of us get a free pass. Of course, none of us had to go to a cross like Jesus our King did, which is good. We may someday, if the bad guys take over, have to go through something like that. But the fact of the matter is we still win because we got a ticket to heaven. His name's Jesus. That's what I got to talk about. Anyway, another issue to talk about is about the deep state. Okay? Let me know if you want to talk about something. Will, how you doing, Will? Glad to see you're on. Throw me out some comments, everybody, if you want to hear something. Talk about it. Give your opinion. We won't go on too long. Your time is valuable. I understand that. And I appreciate you hanging out with me and Joe and the rest of us today. It's a wonderful Thursday. So, Moves and counter moves, ladies and gentlemen. I say often that we are winning. The good guys are winning. And many people are like, what? What are you talking about, man? All we see is evil in the streets. The most robbed Walgreens in America, and somebody robs it in front of the camera. And here I am telling you that the good guys are winning. How do I know this? Ladies and gents, there are many things I can point you to. But one of the best right now in our time is another country. Now, I'm a patriot, and I love patriots of any country, okay? God made countries, nation states, a thing. In fact, at the Tower of Babel, humans were all speaking one language, and they were doing evil stuff. So God said, well, whatever they plan, they're going to be able to succeed. So I'm going to change that. So at the tower that they were building, in my opinion, to bring back the giants, this is my opinion, bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. I'll give you the reason why. bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll tell you why. Now, so they were going to bring back the giants, in my opinion. They were going to bring back evil above what it is that humans have done, which is pretty bad. But what did God do? He struck them with different languages, and they moved away from each other. This is why some of us have darker skin color than others. Some of us have rounder or more almond-shaped eyes than others. It's not because we have different races, ladies and gentlemen. There's only one race. Let's not be foolish. There's only one race. We're human, right? Loved and created by God himself. So when he made this happen, everyone was of one gene pool, the human gene pool, genetic code, right? So as they split apart, well, certain traits were transferred or weeded out, as you might say, in natural selection. So, the lighter skinned people didn't do so well in Africa. No, they burned. And the darker skinned people didn't do so well in Scandinavia. No, they didn't get enough vitamin D. So we see that from different parts of the world, different traits either leapt forward or were left behind in the genetic string of things. So very explainable, ladies and gentlemen. But what I'm saying is, and I went on a little bit of a rant, but it was worthwhile since we did talk about the Bible. Anyway, moves and counter moves. What would I like to show you? I would like to show you that El Salvador, and again, patriotism is a favorite of mine. Nayib Bukele is the president of El Salvador. He's rounding up the vicious gang members of MS-13, and he's putting them into this Supermax prison. You've probably heard of this, but if you haven't, check it out. Anyway, he's also mining Bitcoin. Not him, the nation. So there's these volcanic vapors that come out, and they turn these turbines and power up Bitcoin mining machines. And that Bitcoin is mined, and then it builds bridges, and then it builds infrastructure, hospitals, schools, that they don't have to go to some criminal banker to get a loan for, because the natural resources of El Salvador pay for that. Ladies and gents, look at El Salvador. Do you think if the good guys were not winning, that would be possible? The bad guys, the evil parasite class, they love MS-13. Those are their street soldiers, they're thugs. Okay, they're foot soldiers. Those are the ones that they wanted to come out in the summer of 2024 and hurt you and your family, if we were to allow it. But these are the kind of things that are going on in our world that don't always attract the notice of people who are not watching. Nayib Bukele is a patriot, not of America, of El Salvador. We need more patriots, ladies and gentlemen. We need more people who want to, yes, make America great again, because we were great. Let me give you a little quote from, I can't remember the name of the author. Escapes my mind at the moment, but he said in one of the biggest books of, I think it was the 17th, 18th century, he said, America is great because America is good. If America ceases to be good, it will cease to be great. Okay? And de Tocqueville wrote that. So we as a nation have allowed a scum to float to the top. And in 2020, they stole our election. Now, I can talk about that here on YouTube and on Facebook because they've allowed that kind of speech now, because they didn't, many times. They kick people off, but they are going to try and steal it in a different way this time. So they're allowing us to tell you about, voter fraud. So I think I'm still on, so we haven't been canceled for that yet. Now, when they did this, it was called by patriots an insurrection. So when the communists call the January 6th protest that they created, yes, they created bitcoinouter.media@gmail.com. I'll turn you on to this stuff. But when they performed their evil deeds on January 6th, that was the cover-up. The insurrection was November 3rd and 4th and 5th. And, well, they just carried on this election fiasco for days because, well, they had the pandemic in place. So, again, I digress. But let me end with a prayer to God for all of you, men, women, and children that are patriots of this beloved country. And, well, we got a lot of friends from Mexico also that watch the show. So, also, por la patria de Mexico. But what I'd like to say is, may free nations stay free. May God bless you and yours. This is one other thing that I want to touch on real quick. This is from Elissa for Real on Twitter. I don't follow her yet. I might. This gives you a little bit of sign of our times. So she tweeted this out. Cocaine was found at Biden's house. A dead body was found at Obama's house. A male prostitute was found at Pelosi's house. An illegal server was found at Clinton's house. And the FBI raided Trump's house. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, evil exists. And they're coming after the good guys, but they're losing. They are losing, ladies and gents. I could go way deeper. Maybe someday I will on the air. But the fact of the matter is, I'm open for your questions. I will always back up what it is I say and why my opinions are what they are. Now, if you want to come in with a comment, we got a Rudy comment here. Oh boy, Rudy says, hey Otter, what is all this I've heard about something called adrenochrome? Woo! Hi! Chihuahuas. Rudy, man, you struck a nerve there. Man. Let me start the explanation thusly, and I won't take all your time. Have you ever seen Monsters, Inc.? Joe, you've seen Monsters, Inc., right? Okay. Monsters, Inc. is a Pixar product. Pixar is a subsidiary, I believe, of Disney. Those not so good people. So, in Monsters, Inc., they have these literal monsters. So they're, got big ones, ugly ones, evil, good, whatever. They're monsters, right? So what they do is they go from their world, are transported into our world, and they scare the living daylights out of children. So these monsters are always, under the kid's bed or whatever, like what we were afraid of as kids, in the closet, and they pop out and they scare the kid. The kid screams in terror, and the sound of that child's terror is encapsulated in these tubes that the monster takes back, and these screams of human children are what power the monster world. Okay. Do I think that was a mistake in its relation to adrenochrome? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And here's why. What is adrenochrome? Adrenochrome is, hey, Jesus X. Good to see you. So, adrenochrome is an excretion Well, it doesn't actually. It excretes from the pineal gland, or condenses, I should say, in the pineal gland. That's where it's created. What is the pineal gland? It's a gland, basically, what is, towards the frontal lobe and in the middle, like right here on your forehead, which is often celebrated as the third eye, the mind's eye, if you will. So it is instrumental, as scientists have told us, in prayer. So when we pray, our brain waves actually change. So you have alpha, you have beta, and I want to say that the brain wave involved in prayer, and I'm off on this, somebody help, but I think it's a theta wave. I'm not sure. And I love theta as a cryptocurrency, but this has nothing to do with this. Squirrel! Anyway, so what do these people do that take this drug adrenochrome? And what is adrenochrome? Adrenochrome is the concentrated substance that is found in the pineal gland. Now, it's especially pure in children because the pineal gland gets calcified by many things, the worst of which is probably fluoride. It's not good for your teeth, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually industrial waste, and they pour it in our water. Tell us it's good for us. Anyway, it calcifies the pineal gland. Again, like I said, it's instrumental in prayer, and it's our ability to reach out to, I won't say otherworldly things, but things that don't come to our five senses otherwise. Anyway, so in children, especially traumatized children, this is what is extracted from these children. It's a grisly process. What I've read, they go in with a needle, past the eyeball, or through the eyeball, depending on how brutal they are, and they are brutal. And they tap into the pineal gland and they extract the adrenochrome. Now, I don't know if it's injected. I don't know if it's, I don't know how it's taken exactly, but it's a drug. The earliest I ever heard of it was from a Hunter S. Thompson. Evil freak that guy was. He was involved in snuff films. Killed himself. How interesting. Anyway, Hunter S. Thompson wrote funny books, but he talked about having adrenochrome back in, I believe it was the 60s or 70s. So it's been around a while. Anyway, this is the drug of choice in Hollywood and Washington, D.C. These sick freaks, this parasite class, as I like to call them, thrive on it. And they also thrive on and traffic in children. And it is a plague upon our nation and a plague upon our world. And the good guys are fighting it. Can't be over soon enough. But we're in a war, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a war. But yes, Rudy, adrenochrome is a real thing. Look it up. Again, bitcoinouter.media@gmail.com. I'll give you what I got on it. Okay? Now, I don't want to end on that because that is an evil endeavor. And we don't ever want to end on that. So what I would like to end on is asking God to bless you, to bless your family, to give you a purpose, to give you a way to prosper. Prosperity can happen in many different ways, and could be financial, but usually isn't. It's about joy, and in abundance we can have that joy. I personally believe in Jesus of the Bible, and I would love to be able to tell you about him in maybe even a private conversation. But ultimately, you are the arbiter of truth in your own mind. Nothing I say here or tell you is anything that I won't back up. But at the same time, I will not choose for you. You choose. You be the arbiter of truth in your mind for you and your family. That said, may God bless you. I'm going to sign off now, Joe. But I want to ask God above to bless you, because the Bitcoin Otter endeavor is a faith-based organization, as is 97.7 FM, KCYP, the city, here out of McAllen, Texas. And we have faith that God will win this war. Has already won it, in fact, but we have the honor of being part of it. We can fight this evil. And I choose to do that every day. And if you choose to do that, may you be blessed by God above to fight the enemy below and in us. So please, may you and your family, one of my family had a birthday today. Ava, Feliz día. Que Dios les bendiga a todos en la familia. Gracias. So, may we all come together for the ultimate patriotism, which is the heavenly place. May we be filled with zeal and vigor to protect it, to defend here on earth from the enemy of each other and ourselves. So, in signing off, I thank you for watching. I thank you for checking out the show. And please contact us. Again, we have our sponsorship campaign. You got a business? You want to put it out in front of a bunch of people? We're your people. Thank you. God bless you. And have a great rest of your day and week.
Let's go! This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.